Howdy everybody, BygPhattyPlus here, and it's time for a glog. I don't think I've done a glog in a while. I think last one was maybe around my birthday, maybe? I can't remember. I used to do these vlogs more often, but now it's like maybe once or twice a year. Oh lord, what a year this one has been. I mean, good freaking God, this whole year has been utter hell. This whole year has been such crap, you know, from the first month to now. It's been utter crap. You know, we've had such a tumultuous election. We've had a pandemic. We've had riots. We've had Australia had that horrible fire. In California, I think, had fires too. My memory has just been flawed. We have murder hornets. Then the pandemic still, which we're still dealing with. And this whole year has just taken a drain on everyone's sanity, including mine. And it's like I basically am doing this vlog because I just need to ramble on for a bit, because I just don't feel like doing the normal thing I do for my New Year's videos. I have something else planned that you'll see tomorrow. This is actually being recorded, I want to say, 4 weeks in advance. Because this is Christmas time and things are busy. So I'm basically getting all this done now. So that way, the rest of the days off that I may or may not have during Christmas, I can take care of, you know, Christmas shopping, cleaning, and whatnot. But just things I definitely need to get done. And also because it's some things that are going on right now that I just need to rant and rave about. The main thing is the pandemic. This whole pandemic has been probably the worst part of this year. It's just been so insane. It's been so draining on everybody. And here's the first part. When we locked down for the 2 months, the first time, for the first 2 weeks, everything was fine. Yes, people were out of work. Things were closed. But things were going well. Everyone was wearing masks until someone made it political. The second, and I don't remember who made it political first. I do not remember. But someone did. Someone made it political, and that's where it went downhill. Suddenly you have idiots on the steps of City Hall protesting to open everything up. I want a haircut. Okay, listen here, Jill Bob. You don't want a haircut. You've been wearing the same goddamn mullet since 19-2. You're only wanting everything to open up so you can get out of the house away from your goddamn wife. And your wife only wants everything to get open so she can go out the house and get away from your deadbeat butt. But no one ever thinks about that. No, second, they made it political. The second, everybody thought, hey, I don't have to do it now because it's political. People stopped wearing masks. Started saying it was a hoax. That it was a conspiracy. And of course, the anti-vaxxers came out and said, oh, they're just going to try and force us to get vaccines. It's like, the second this was made political was the second I knew everything was going to fail. And someone else, a friend of mine, actually is the one who actually opened my eyes to it. It's like, because I didn't think about it until he actually said, he's the one who said, the second they made it political is the second everything went downhill. Because then, it no longer becomes a world health issue, it becomes a political issue. And then, of course, when you make something political, people feel the need to either support it or denounce it. And so people are now protesting to not wear masks. They're leading parades through stores saying, "Take it off! Take it off!" And it's like, there's too many stupid people who sit there and think it's a political issue now because some moron decided to make it one. And why is this what reminded me of this was two things. One, I was watching Wade, Minion 777 on Twitch. He was streaming Phasmophobia, and he brought up the issue of his mother had COVID. And he was upset because his mother has COVID. You know, no one. You wouldn't find a person in the world who wouldn't be upset that a family member or close friend had COVID. They wouldn't be upset. You wouldn't find anybody. They might be afraid, you know. I completely botched what I meant by that, but you know what I mean. And he got a little worked up because, you know, there are people out there who refuse to wear masks. And someone in the chat said, "You only have to wear a mask if you got it. You don't have to wear it if you don't." And it really set him off. And I agree. I agree with him being set off. It's stupid. What's the point? And here's the thing. If you're refusing to wear a mask, you're breathing it in. You think the people who have it, first of all, many people don't know that they have it. They don't find out until a few days later when they start showing symptoms. And they say, "Oh, let me go get tested." And then they find out they have it. And then, you know, the whole place they work at, everyone has to go get tested. Because you suddenly find out, oh, they're positive. Now we have to go get tested because we were around them. You know? So they might not even know they have it until they start showing symptoms. So if they're walking around without a mask, and you're walking around without a mask, and you're breathing the same air as them, guess what? You might be infected. And here's the thing. A mask is not 100% guaranteed to block their air from getting out. If you watch videos of people, you know, they do these tests where they show air particles flowing through the air by using like soap particles in the air that stay there for a while, so that it helps them show like wind and all that. They show a picture of a guy breathing with a mask, and you see all the air that he breathes out comes through the top and bottom of the mask. It's not going out, yes. It's just going through the top and bottom, dispersed. Here's the thing. That air still lingers around. So if you walk through that, you might get it if you're not wearing a mask. If you're wearing a mask, you increase your chances of not getting it because you're filtering it through the fabric. Even something as simple as a bandana across your face might help you to keep from getting this dang thing, to block the air particles a little bit. It's not 100% surefire block. Just like condoms aren't 100% surefire way to keep from getting STDs. They can protect you, but you still might. But it's better than nothing. Now, some people are clever. They're walking around with like helmets on. Some people have fans that blow all the air away from them. But it's still better than nothing. I wear a mask at work every day. And I hate it. I hate it because I'm sitting there trying to scoop cookies and press cakes. And I'm sweating because it's already hard work. And I'm laboring to breathe in that mask. But I do it because I don't want to catch this mess and bring it home to my family. I live with 3 people who are over 60, whom if they get it, it'll kill them. And I don't think I can handle the freaking guilt of that. I couldn't handle the guilt. The other reason why this upsets me is I learned a few days ago that a real good friend of mine, one of my best friends, 40 Warrior, has it. He hasn't shown any symptoms yet. He's been feeling tired, but he hasn't shown any major symptoms yet. And I'm scared. Because like I said, he's one of my best friends. I count everyone I'm close with, I count as best friends. If they're not family, I count them as best friends or family. At this point, pretty much all my best friends are family at this point. I know I just confused the living hell out of you. I don't care. But I'm scared, you know? And he says he's going to fight through this. He's going to kick COVID's butt. I just said it. That's probably going to get the little bar on the bottom of my screen. Sure, why not? Whatever. But I'm scared. You know? And it's like, he's already had a rough year this year. He's already had so much trouble this year that I'm not going to go into because, you know, that's his business. But the COVID thing, that scares me. You know, just as it scared me when other people I find out my church have had it. It's like, we didn't go to church today. Today they were having worship in the park. We was going to be like a cookout and everything after service and everything. Me and my mom didn't go because we were too afraid to. We go to church, but we sit in like the back. Normally how our church works is they have the back 3 rows are reserved for everyone who wears a mask and doesn't want to be near anyone. A lot of people disregard that and still come over and talk to you and everything, but for the most part, those last 3 rows are meant mainly for people who's like, hey, we're afraid of getting it. Well, at the event, because my mom watched the service, she didn't see anyone wearing a mask. She didn't see anyone wearing a mask. Our pastor rarely wears a mask. And it saddens me. It's like some people are taking this so flippantly, like, oh, I'm not going to get it. I don't care. Okay, you don't care if you're not going to get it? Okay. What about the people around you? Do you care about them? Because by not wearing a mask, you're proving you don't care about them. You don't care if you got it, go, fine. If you live alone and you don't visit anyone, fine. Be an idiot. But if you're not wearing a mask and you live with family, you see people a lot, you talk to people a lot, all you're doing is showing you don't care about others, not just yourself. And it frustrates me so much. It's like, just wear the mask. Some people say, oh no. It's like I heard this argument. This mask is against my civil liberties. No, it's not. It's called a health issue. The government isn't violating your freedoms by telling you to wear a mask. They're telling you, hey, there is a pandemic going on. Wear it for your and your family's safety. I saw a video where a guy went to, I think, looked like a Bass Pro Shop refusing to wear a mask. What's wrong? I just want to breathe the fresh air. Dude, you're inside a store. There is no fresh air. You're breathing the same goddamn air everyone else is. Now, here's the thing. If you're in your car by yourself, or in your house by yourself, or out in the middle of a park, away from everyone else, or out in the middle of nowhere, outside, okay, don't wear a mask. That's fine. When I'm outside, I don't wear a mask. Unless I'm within, like, arm's reach of people. Then I'm like, nah, mask goes on. But if I'm outside and I'm not near anyone, okay, fine. But you're in a store. You're in a building with other people. This isn't about you wanting to breathe the fresh air. This is about you wanting to rebel. This is about you wanting to go, my civil liberties! How dare you try to violate them! You're being an idiot. You're trying to rebel for the sake of rebelling. You're rebelling against something that could save your life because you think it's not. I see friends on my Facebook. I have my friends on my Facebook are evenly split, I like to think. Where I have one side is liberal, one side is conservative. And I'm like in the middle because I'm a freaking independent. And very regularly, I see issues bouncing forth between them, and I can agree with one, disagree with another. But it's like I see almost all my conservative friends scream about how they have to wear a mask, how they hate it, and it's like all my conservative friends going, all my liberal friends going, what's wrong with you? Wear the mask. And they're trying to say it's a freedom. Like, no, it's a health issue. I saw this one ad that someone had made saying if you keep wearing the mask, next thing it's gonna be the burqa. And I'm like, you freaking moron! How could you be so dumb? They think they're trying to take your freedoms away. Here's the thing, they're not. Because if you take freedoms away, that means you can't spend money. And if you can't spend money, the economy collapses. Any place that restricts your freedom, if you go and look anywhere on a map, at any place where freedoms are heavily restricted, their economies are not doing very well. And the people in power know this, that if they restrict the people's freedoms, they're not going to go out and spend money. Oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't go spend money. They're not going to make you go out and wear a turban and a burqa, because they'd rather you go out and spend tons of money buying silly clothes, wearing bikinis, buying weird food all the time, buying toys and all this, and electronics. They want you to spend money. They want you to stimulate the economy. They're not going to take your freedom from you. They want you to go and buy guns. They want you to spend your money. You ain't going to spend your money if you ain't got freedoms. But that's what happens when you make something like this political, and it ticks me off. And I want to smack whomever. I can't point out who. I wish I could point out who. But I want to smack whomever made this a political issue. Because they're the ones who started this mess. You know, I used to watch a lot of movies. One of my favorites that I still kind of watch if it's on TV is Independence Day. I love that movie. And if you're a fan of AGGN and you suck his wiener and you believe you agree with him that, oh, it's a corny movie, how could you watch it? Get out, Pete. Yeah, I got into an argument with someone on one of AVGN's videos because he said, oh my god, the movies are horrible. I'm like, I like the movies. What's wrong with you? Like, shut up. But the whole theme of that movie was, near the end, was the whole world coming together to fight a common foe. And I thought, when this pandemic started, I thought, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll come together to fight a common foe, the virus. And boy, was I proven wrong. So badly was I proven wrong. Oh my god, I was proven so wrong. It's not only has people not been able to work together, if anything, many people have been trying to hinder other people working together because of one reason or another. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And here's the thing. Well, I want to hit the one person who started this and made it political. They're not the sole person at fault. We all are at fault for this. We all have. I frequent a subreddit called "Am I the Butthole?" I'm trying not to swear because that means I don't have to go through and clip out all the swearing, which would take forever if this takes to be an hour or something. But I go to, you know what it means, by the way. Am I the butthole? And on it, people share their situations for what has happened to them, and people give their comments and opinions and vote on whether this person is the butthole or not. And they use certain codes for the bot to count, and then the final tally is made on whether this person is the butthole or not. And the codes are as either YTA, you're the butthole, NTA, not the butthole, or the important one for this situation, everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here. Not one single person is blameless in this pandemic. From the president all the way down to the Joe on the street, everyone is at fault. The president is at fault for not taking this more seriously than he should have. For not acting quicker. Other politicians are at fault for trying to stymie him and hang him up when he did try to act. When it was known that the pandemic was happening and he finally decided to act, the president tried to enact a travel ban. This is what I've read. But he tried enacting a travel ban from that area. Let me see here. Yes, during April 22nd, he suspended entry to the United States of certain immigrants posing risk during the pandemic. And there were some judges and politicians who ignored that and allowed certain planes from those affected regions to land here simply because, Orange Man bad. Let's disregard whatever he said and let it happen. Let's let these people in, these poor people who were bringing in the virus. And suddenly something that we could have kept over there and away from us, we got hit with. We had politicians who could have acted, who could have helped to try and slow it down. But instead of doing that, they said, this is going to affect the stock market. Let me sell my stocks. This is going to affect my bottom line. Let me fix it so I don't. So our politicians across the board have failed us. Across the board. Our politicians have failed us incredibly. And guess what? There's not a there's nothing we can do about that. All of our politicians have failed us in one form or another in not taking this thing seriously. Either because it meant damaging their bottom line, or because they'd rather oppose the president because they don't like him. Our corporations have failed us because they use this pandemic as a way to try and make money. And I'm sure they're going to continue to fail us when the vaccine is out. And people have promised that the vaccine will not charge that much or will be, free. It's not going to be free. I'd be surprised if it was. I guess it's going to be a substantial amount of money. And corporations are going to be ones at fault. They're going to want to, hey, we can't give that vaccine for free. Let's charge for it. We can make a mint. They're going to. Pharmaceuticals and corporate companies are going to charge for this. And they're going to continue failing us. Because they want to make money on this pandemic. I mean, come on. You go out, you can buy branded masks now. People are making a mint off this pandemic. The only people who ain't making money are small businesses who are getting hurt because people aren't going out as much. People are getting sick. Already, 2 stores in my mall, actually, I take it back, several stores in my mall have closed already because of this. My boss, he owned an ice cream store. He actually owned 2 ice cream stores. He just closed both of them because he was not making the money to pay the bills or payroll. Because of this pandemic, the sales were down for him 50% to the point where he said he had to pay the last payroll for his other store out of his own pocket, and he had to close because he wasn't making the money. GameStop in my mall is closing because of the pandemic. Hell, when the mall closed for 2 months, there was a taco place in my mall. They never opened back up. They just left. They saw the writing on the wall and took off. There are many other places that are closing. Those are the people being hurt most by this. And yet, when the president offered that bailout to these small businesses, big corporations decided to find a loophole in order to steal that money. Big corporations made bank during this, while smaller mom and pop stores are failing. Our corporations will continue to fail us. Our police have failed us. And it's obvious why. Our police have completely failed us. We've finally shown... Here's the thing. I am not an ACAB person. I support our police, but I support good police. And people say, there's no such thing. Yes, there is. The problem is, this whole thing has shown that our police are woefully undertrained. I have to put a disclaimer on this thing. This thing gets political. Our police are woefully undertrained, not just for what happened, but for the pandemic. They're woefully undertrained and under-equipped. And it also shows that officers need to be vetted more. They need not just have more training, they need to be vetted. They need to be like the military. When you go into the military, they send people out to find out if they're a fit for the military. One of my friends who used to work at my store went into the military. They sent someone to the store to talk to all of us, to get like a personality profile of this person, so that way they know if they're a good fit or not. They should do the same for police. I know they can't visit right now due to the pandemic. They should at least call. Say, hey, is this person a good fit? Are they okay? Go into their past psych profiles if they have any. See if they've been arrested for anything silly. There are good cops who are caught up in this horrible mess, though. There are good cops that have gone above and beyond to try and show that there are good cops. And they're being caught up in this mess because there are some precincts where the cops just don't care. They think they have a badge and do whatever they want. I'm looking at you, Buffalo. That's just one of them. That's just the only one I can think of at the moment. This all, the local business owners are at fault, though. And you think, how are they at fault? There are some that refuse to follow the guidelines, that want to make profit, but not in a safe way. They want to make that money. There's a pub owner. I forgot the city. I just read it this morning. An hour I forgot the city. There's a pub owner that refuses to follow the local COVID guidelines, and he keeps the place open and at 100% capacity, and he doesn't care. He keeps running at 100% capacity, keeps trying to make the money, and all this, and he does not care. He was recently arrested after trying to run from police by ramming a police cruiser. And it's going to keep happening because there's people who refuse to take this seriously. And finally, it runs squarely on us, the people, who are at fault. We are at fault. Because there's so many people that believe in stupid conspiracy theories. Thinking that, it's always a conspiracy. It's always this. There's something always trying to control everything. There are people in the hospital dying from this pandemic, still believing that it's not COVID. They're dying. They can't breathe, and they still can't believe it. How ridiculous is that? That there are people laying in their hospital beds. There's another. Let me come back to the people. I just realized there's another one that I should be blaming too. The media. The media is at fault for this. I'll go back to the people in a minute. The media is at fault for this. For either playing into these conspiracy theories or fear-mongering. The media has fear-mongered. It's either fear-mongered tons of people by continuously reporting the numbers, some of which times some people may say are even fudged. And then the conspiracy theories who put these things out saying, that they're fudged, so we don't know what's real. And people get scared. My mom hears the news every day about the numbers going up. Or I happen to, without even thinking, tell her the numbers are going up. And she gets scared. She's still scared. and rightfully so, because the numbers keep going up, because the media keeps saying, oh, more people are dead, more people are sick. Be afraid, be afraid. When it happened, when it started, they were fear-mongering when it came up. Why do you think so many people went out and bought toilet paper by the barrels? Because the media put out a video of people buying it. They put out a video of a guy trying to stock up his store with toilet paper. So he went out and bought some. And he was standing in line. Everyone saw that and thought, crap, we need toilet paper, and went out and bought it. And the media kept pushing it. Kept showing video of people running out and grabbing as much as they could of paper products. And they fear-mongered. Or they conspiratized, say, this is going to be the problem. This is the end. This is the problem. Be afraid. They're trying to control you. And the media couldn't come together and say, hey, this is what we need to do. Because they always either blow it out of proportion or say, ignore it, it's not real. Now let me go back to the people who are at fault. The people who believe this crap. Instead of thinking for themselves. I'm realizing, hey, maybe if I wash my hands more often, use sanitizer, and wear a mask, everything will be fine. But no, people are indignant to it. They believe the conspiracy theories. And like I said, there are people in hospitals dying because of this illness. People are dying. And they don't believe it. They're in their deathbed with this illness and they're saying, this ain't real. It can't be COVID. This ain't real. What's the government doing to me? And it's ridiculous how people are taking this. I had not realized how bad I was going to get this politically, but whatever. But it's people who, it's not just the anti-vaxxers, it's not just the anti-maskers. There are people out there who just really don't care. I was in GameStop yesterday after work, as I'm recording this, and the guy was telling people, hey, you have to have a mask when you come in. You can't be in here without a mask, and there's only a certain number of people that are allowed in there. One guy tried to come in, and he goes, sir, you have to have a mask to come in here. The guy stopped with his baby stroller, with a baby, and he goes, nope. Turn around and left. Because he didn't want to wear a mask. He didn't want to put a mask on. There are many people out there who just don't care. Who don't care one side or the other politically about it. They just don't want to wear it. They're just lazy. They're like, I don't care. I won't get it. And then there's the people who didn't care to the point that they decided to still have spring break. Those college kids who decided their spring break was more important than a freaking pandemic. I've been waiting for this all year, bro. I'm gonna have this. I don't care. I've had binges before. I'll wake up feeling sick and then I'll be fine the rest of the day. I don't care, bro. I want my party. We all failed. Every single one of us has failed this pandemic. We have proven every single movie director and story writer, whoever wrote a book or directed a movie where humanity came together at the last second to fight against the evil threat. No. We proved them all wrong. That in the hour of need, in humanity's darkest time, humanity still can't come together because we still can't even agree on one goddamn thing. Sometimes I just hate people. But we can fix it. We can. We can start wearing masks, being careful. We can start holding politicians accountable when they say we should stay indoors. And yet they go out on trips and host lavish parties in other countries. Hold them accountable. When celebrities tell us, hey, you should go out and shop and try to stimulate the economy, well, they hide in their houses and film their stuff from home. Hold people accountable. Hold hypocrites accountable. Tell people no. The people are more important than money. Some people say that if you don't go out and spend, the economy will be destroyed. And is the economy worth more than someone's life? No, it's not. Some people say we're at a catch. If we close everything down to control the pandemic, more businesses close, the economy collapses. However, if we don't close everything down and try to control this, there won't be anyone who can save the economy. There needs to be rules put in place. There needs to be people who need to be held accountable. When they try to bust into a building without wearing a mask because, I don't want to wear one, they should be taken away. Someone would say, you're anti-American. No, I am pro-life. I believe lives should matter. And I'm not getting into that whole debate because I am pro-choice too. And that's the other problem. That's the other problem. People try to nitpick your words, try to confuse you, try to rip things apart in order to discredit you so that way they can say, ha, I win. My ideas are better. We have an obvious threat, and yet people can't even agree on how to defeat it. It's like a game that I'm let's playing. Star Trek Armada. There's a smaller storyline where you have Toral, who's a renegade Klingon who wants to take over and be the new emperor of the Empire. And he's trying to kill Worf because Worf is the only one who knows where the Sword of Kahless is. And then he can come out with this fake one and say, hey, I have the Sword of Kahless, I'm the rightful emperor. And he wants to rule, even while knowing the Borg are at his back. He doesn't care about the Borg. He cares more about being in power. He wants to be in power even as the enemy is banging on his gate. That's how we are. We have an enemy banging on our gates right now. But rather than all of us unify to deal with it, we're all arguing about how to deal with it. Some people are arguing that the enemy isn't even at the gates. It's all a hoax. It's just some people outside banging on the doors to scare us. I am fully expecting next year to be worse. I'm fully expecting 2021 to be worse. I'm expecting it. People think, this is all going to end at New Year's. No. I made a joke that, no, what's going to happen is when that ball comes down and it lights up the thing that says 2021, you won't hear Happy New Year. You'll hear a loud, booming, ominous voice go, Level 2. I think that's going to happen. I mean, not literally, but you know what I mean. This next year is going to be worse. I'm a pessimist too. I always look at the worst side, so when the worst side doesn't happen, I'm pleasantly surprised. But I honestly think that's what's going to happen. That the world is going to get worse because we're too busy bickering among each other to deal with it. We're too busy arguing and fighting amongst ourselves in order to come together. I fully believe that if the AIDS pandemic had happened now instead of when it did, there would be people out there having tons of unprotected sex with random people just to spite the government. The government tells me I should use a condom when I have sex. I'm going to prove to them that the HIV is a hoax. I'm going to have sex with a lot of people. And then they'll be sitting in the hospital going, how did I get here? Because people are dumb. And I know that mess does happen in a sense. There are people out there who are infected with HIV and AIDS and still go out having unprotected sex because they don't care and feels better without a condom. Which shows you just how selfish humanity is at its heart. How, in the end, humanity doesn't care about other people. They only care about number one. I got mine, you better get yours. I guess Gene Roddenberry wasn't kidding when he figured it was going to take a couple of 100 years for humanity to get their heads on straight before we became enlightened enough to come together for Starfleet and all that mess. And even then, we still had a few problems. But oh well. I'm sorry this went all political, but this is my Glog Politics edition. Because, yeah, this is the important thing that I needed to get off my chest and how frustrated I am with it. And how I wish to God that humanity could just come together for once! But it ain't gonna happen because it's like getting a freaking Red Sox and a Red Sox and a White Sox fan in the same room. I think it's the White Sox. I can't remember. But I think it's pretty much Red Sox than anyone at this point. But I hope you've enjoyed this rambly little bit. I haven't decided where I'm going to have some kind of random game. I'm probably just going to put a freaking black screen on the background because of how political this is. No, I'm not going to record an hour of me playing Pandemic to do this because that's just not even funny. Yeah, I think I'll just put a black background on it. Just call it a day. But until my next whatever I do, and until the next new year, y'all have a good day. Sayonara. It's been BygPhattyPlus. I said it backwards, whatever. And please, do your best to try and come together on things. If we're to see an era of people actually being okay, we gotta fix this mess, seriously.